What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video episode presented by us here at Full Tilt Farming. We are also an online PS4 community as well, so if you are looking for a community to join into and get plugged in, come give us a look. You can find us at Full Tilt Farming under the Farm Sim 17 community list. But for the rest of you, today we are going to be unpacking missions. Now, missions have gotten a huge overhaul. In this video, we are going to start looking at ways to better be efficient at missions, get in and out of missions around different fields quickly, and look at different try before you buy options. So you may say, well, what is that? Well, this is what I'm going to show you. This is what I think is awesome. You can see obviously all the regular stuff that you would expect to see with a mission. If you're not familiar with this, you can back out, come back into it, and notice that you have a different slurry machine and a different tractor. Now, I have my favorites. I do have my favorite tractors that I do like to use in some of these missions, and they do change. You can see change in slurry machine changed our fertilization price and also the time for the mission. And the only reason is because some of them cover more fields in a pass than others. At least they cover more footage. So as we're kind of cycling through these things, this is actually my favorite. I'm glad it landed on this. You've got the slurry machine, which is like one of the big sprayers that just spews it out of the back. You've obviously got your front weight and the Massey Ferguson 7700, which is a new addition to the tractor lineup in Farm Sim 17. So you can see our price did go down and the time did go down, but that's obviously just because of the slurry machine. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up and kind of work our way through it. And then I'm actually going to fast forward when I get into the mission. I'm just going to talk about some things we're going to talk about afterwards just to kind of get us started and segued into that. But I'm going to go ahead and get hooked up here. I do like to try to do as much as I can do from the inside of the cab. There is a setting that I do like to use. There it goes. That is absolutely disgusting. But here we go. So I like to set off the front 45. Now this can change depending on which direction that I am coming from, but typically I like to look to my left when I'm in the cab, and then I'll like to come down here and I like to set this. And you say, well, when you go back it's going to be set. There is an option here, and I'm going to go to it really quickly. Right here, reset vehicle camera. If that is on, it will reset your camera every single time. If it is off, it will stay where you leave it. So when I go back into my in cab, I'll be right where I was when I left off. Same way when I do here. So if I want to back up enough to see where my front edge is to make sure that I'm getting the coverage that I need, that's an easy way to do it. Alone from being able to line up my front end and pick a line out and go. I'm usually, like right now, I'm aiming for that tree directly in front of me. I'm not looking at anything really in particular, but this is making sure that I'll get enough coverage. Obviously you've got your time, and then that little pile on the right is not a bonus timer. Some thought that that was an actual bonus timer to I have to beat that so that I can get my bonus money. All you need to do is beat the timer that's counting down and you'll get a bonus from that. Now, depending on how fast you do it will depend on how much bonus you get. So just kind of keep that in mind. So cover as much field and stay on the field as much as possible. You do not have to cover the whole entire span of the field and every single nook and cranny and corner to get completion. They do give you about a 10%. So if you get 90% coverage on the field and that progress bar goes all the way up, it will still give you credit for it. So don't fret about that. So I'm going to go ahead and let this speed up. And I'm just going to transition right into getting ready to finish, and then we're going to cover a few other things just at the latter set of this. We'll go through some harvesting missions and kind of go through some of the options that you've got, maybe even some of the DLC. Yes, you can drive DLC in missions, even though you may not be able to afford them outside, so that is cool. We'll be talking about that on the return. Alright guys, and we are kind of coming up here to the finish. You'll see how much field I have left over when this actual sliver goes away. It's going to be quite a good section of the field. So this has taken me a little over about 5 minutes to do. It's ridiculous. These are easy paying missions, and it's no different what you're doing in your own farm. And the thing about it, you're not getting paid to fertilize your own farm. So you're looking at roughly, what's that, $10,100. So pretty good return on about 5 minutes worth of work. 10 grand could be a plow, or at least close to it anyway. But you can also use that to kind of supplement and give you some extra space and time. Now, one thing I want to point out before I continue is you got a green tick by James Harris, and you notice the nominal value has come down $3,000. Now that will incrementally increase, which kind of tells you that it is going to be cheaper the more that you do missions for Mr. Harris. Now, I will not spoil what happens when you totally fill it up, but fill it up and then come back to fill his gauge up and then come back to a field that he owns and then try to buy that field and see what happens. It's no spoiler on that, but it is very, very nice, and it's a very nice reward because you're really getting 2 or 3 things out of these missions. You're getting to actually buy the land at cheaper rates the more missions you do, plus you're getting paid, plus you're getting to try different tractors. So that is what I'm going to discuss right quick. If we're looking at the growth, we're going to let's go to field 5, and what I'm going to do is turn all these filters off, so that way I only am looking at the fields, which are these little exclamation points. And then we're going to cycle over to 5. There it is. As you can see, it looks like we've got soy out here, so it's going to be a fertilization. So right off the bat, you notice there's the T-Series Cows Edition. Now, if you have the DLC, you have to have it, I believe. If someone doesn't have it and has access to these tractors, please let me know, because I have purchased everything. Season Pass, so I'm getting all the tractor packs and all of that stuff. Also, Mod Hub stuff is in here. You see we've got the pre-order stuff is in here. This was the Cow Edition that you got for pre-ordering out of the American store. You will see as I continue to do this, there's the Black Beauty. These are missions in-game. I don't have access to buy these yet because I don't have enough money. Even in my own farm, I don't. You've got the Fast Track. There's the Terra CVT, Dude Series 9. There's the T7 Blue Power Heavy. This one is going to be accessible for the UK guys here soon. They're going to do a PlayStation Store update, and you will have access to it. But this is something you got also from the American PlayStation Store for pre-ordering the game. This was kind of got looped in on the behind. So you've got a plethora of tractors. The T8, there's the 8700 from Massey Ferguson, and the regular T7 heavy duty. Back to the Valtra T-Series. So as you can see, cycling through this, you get to do pretty much every single tractor on that high line, which is pretty awesome. Same thing applies to this guy. Fertilizing has a price. The nominal value, it operates exactly the same. So now that I've covered that, I want to also go cover and harvest one, because if things still remain the same on this, we should see something else. So you can see the price goes up on this a lot, but you can also look at the time for the mission. This is an hour and 43 minutes for a power flow with the Massey Ferguson Delta, which is a new line even in the harvesters, with a 35-foot header. Now, if you back in and out, here it is, perfect. Second, you have the Fendt 9490X harvester with a power flow 35-foot header. Now, this is in the mod section. This is totally free. This is not paid DLC. This is a mod. So this is promising, and I'm assuming that as things are, if you download them into your vanilla game and actually have them in career mode, it will start to put these. So as we get more and more equipment, more tractor packs, and more other things that are being modded in for us on the console, these things are going to be available to us in the mission. So even though we may not have enough money to buy them, we can still drive them, which is awesome. Now, this one's still 35-foot header. You can pretty much gauge the harvesting missions by the size of the header. If it's the smaller ones, the 35-foot, then you're going to be around the 45 to 50 mark. If you get up into the 45-foot or even the 40s, you can kind of see how the price does come down. There's the Draper 45-foot when the New Holland CR 1090. That is at $35,000. So your mission time has come down 20 minutes, but your price has come down $10,000. So that is personal preference. If you want to cover as much field as possible and get it done faster, then do that. If you want the money, then spend the extra time. This is why I say this particular area kind of comes down to personal preference. I personally hate being on a harvester for an hour. It is ridiculous, because you got to remember, you cannot hire workers in a mission. This is for you to do by yourself. So as you get into these, make sure that you have enough time to complete the mission. This one still, like I said, is about 2/3. That's if you cover every bit of field leaving up, about 2/3 of this. So if it's 80 minutes, which is an hour and 21 minutes in 2 seconds, you're probably looking at around 50 minutes completion time, maybe even possibly an hour. So just keep that in mind, guys. And now we're going to actually travel back here. A few things I want to point out is growth cycle and harvest cycles. Now, growth cycle, all this happens exactly the same. So we've got a +5. We're actually running at 5 times speed right now, so that tells me everything in the growth stage cycle of this map is going to happen at 5 times speed. If you speed it up to 15, 30, 60, 120, doesn't matter. All of these are going to happen, and they're going to transfer as fast as they do on your own farm, so keep that in mind. Another thing, just as another little tidbit of information, like I said earlier, make sure you stay within, right now, I'm my own personal farm, I'm working 12, 14, 15, 19, 16, and then I'm working on taking all of 23, 24, 22, 18, and 11. So I'd like to have that one little complete block around the farm, and then I'll maybe work on expanding out once I acquire cows and pigs, and I may start looking at some of those upper and lower fields as well. Go and actually, if you got a field or got an area, go start working those fields. Turn your speed up to 15 or 30 so things happen in succession. Go down there and actually work those fields. Get those prices down for those fields as cheap as possible, because like I said, here at FTF, we are really just worried about making as much money as we can in as little of time. And if that means you can make money on the mission to save yourself money on buying the land later to work it, you're getting paid to work land that you do not have to pay for. You don't have to do anything except just run the tractor over it, and they take care of everything, which is awesome. So just keep that in just your back of your mind as you navigate through all the different fields and the different areas. You find areas, it's a good way to, like I said, try before you buy. It's also a good way to kind of check out different areas of the map that you may not be as familiar with, because there may be, and it may allow you to maybe work out of a different area of the farm, as you acquire more money and grow your farm to whatever size it is you feel comfortable. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it was a kind of a shallow unpack of the missions. There's not too much there, but there are some little tips and tricks to kind of get by there that do kind of make it a little bit more interesting, give you a chance to try before you buy with the tractors, and also be able to experience new areas of the map. So that is it, guys. We would love to have your feedback. Give us a like, comment in the comment section, subscribe and share. Get that word out. It does help us immensely. But until next time, that is it from all of us at Full Tilt.